Hey, what's up,
Hello.
Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome to You Got. Yeah, we're a podcast.
Yeah.
About, we've been saying scams, but I think it's more now we're widening it to generally about being fucked over or fucking people over.
It's all scams. It's all the same.
Everything
thing.
everything is the same. People are bad, as it turns out.
Yeah,
It's true. The fucking news.
people don't treat each other well.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Today we have our guest, one half of Mango Bay. Please give it up for Pranav Behari.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
yeah.
Thank you for having me. You got Pranav.
Yeah, we got Pranav.
Yeah.
What's the name of the episode
I
today?
put the accent on the wrong
No,
syllable.
Don't nothing like that. Say what I
Pranav.
call you. That's fine. But
Yeah.
no. Yeah, I was just trying to make a lame pun with the
Yeah.
name of the pod. You
Yeah.
got.
It works for
Um,
everything.
It does.
You got
It's pretty
herpes
good.
or
You got
herpes.
herpes. You got pizza. You got
Exactly.
You got pizza. We should start that podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got abandoned. Anything really. It's true.
You got daddy issues, and that's
Yeah.
why you're here.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of podcasts where they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna bring on girls I used to date and it didn't work out with," and I don't know why the fuck you
Yeah.
would do that.
Why did it work out? Well, you're a huge narcissist and you
Yeah.
film everything that ever went on
Exactly.
between us, and this reminds me of that. Yeah.
I did do that when before I moved to New York. I was like, I didn't know that there's like a line between life and things that you record, so I would just start recording random conversations. And I'll be like, I might release this. So one time a girl, I was like leaving
It's called the
Berlin.
NSA podcast.
Yeah, no, yeah.
We were like breaking up, and I was like, "Do you mind if I record this?"
You're just like such a fucking
I
insane
swear
person.
to God. So
That is pretty deranged,
Yeah, yeah,
actually.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
like, no, this is totally
It's-
normal.
it's not.
Recording, wiretapping.
it's not good.
Why? For prosperity or?
For prosperity.
Oh, yeah, prosperity. Sorry. Yeah,
Posterity
yeah,
and
yeah,
prosperity.
yeah.
He was trying to monetize that shit.
Sorry, it's an old Chinese thing. When a girl's leaving you, you record it so you can listen to it over and over and be like, "Actually, I made a good point.
Yeah.
It's for my prosperity."
Yeah.
How'd you get so rich? That's Jeff Bezos' secret.
Yeah, he
Actually, is he
secretly
got
tapes.
broken up with a lot and he always taped
He
it.
recorded it,
Yeah.
and he recorded that he was able to blackmail people.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
No,
he'll be
I mean,
like,
but-
"Listen, if you fucking don't give me $1 million, I'll tell everyone you dated me."
No, I'm saying, why would you want it to release it?
What do you mean? Because it's funny.
The breakup?
Yeah.
Do you like? Were you saying this might be funny? Let's see.
Were
if
like
we can...
were you on fire during the breakup? Just like dropping mad
I was
puns?
crushing
Like you were
it,
crushing?
Yeah. I was
sorry.
making callbacks.
I am.
Remember when I said you were a whore? Everyone claps and they're like, "We remember that from earlier, the whore."
There's like applause breaks at the restaurant.
Right,
It's like, oh,
exactly.
this is a great breakup.
Yeah, exactly.
There's crying
Yeah.
breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought
You
like
get rebooked. You're like, you want to come back next week and break up with me? Yeah.
Hey, you know you killed, right? You know
Yeah.
you killed, right?
Yeah. Well, she's gone and I passed. So.
no, I thought that people were like, you should record moments of being honest. So if I was like super depressed, I would just like turn on a camera and talk about why I was depressed.
Oh, wow.
And I realized that like, oh, that's not, nobody wants to watch that.
Do you think I would watch that? Do you think that
I recorded
the
myself.
the second you hit record though, you're not being honest anymore.
Oh, I am for
You're
sure.
on. Oh, okay.
This is who I had a recording on my a birthday when I was like, I think I called you and you were like you didn't respond, and
Which is why I started recording myself.
Well,
and
listen, that's the
talking to
one
myself.
day-
it was my first birthday. I just moved to New York. I knew 2 people. They were both busy. I still know. Now I know 3.
It was my present to you
Yeah.
to not talk to you on your birthday.
And then I took out a Zoom. I had a Zoom, so it was like I didn't even have a microphone. I had like a Zoom recorder, like for recording like the
I
live
see
room.
You were going right in,
I was
right hot, right into that.
Going into the Zoom and like a
That
MacBook
nub.
webcam, just being like, it hurts. being like, just time trudges on and it all leads to nothing. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, that felt pretty good.
This should be a podcast.
Yeah,
dude.
I would-
exactly. It's just a man having a mental breakdown.
I'm offering $1,000 to anyone that can actually get those off your hard drive.
I
and,
have them. I record my therapy sessions because they're on Zoom, so
Oh,
I
that's
actually
good.
have all my therapy sessions.
Does your therapist know that?
Yeah. Well, now there's a fucking Zoom is a narc.
Yeah.
So if you hit record, it goes,
Yeah.
"This is being recorded."
Oh.
It's like what things, you don't know what I was doing.
I know.
You know, you're really fucking ruining this for me. Are you wearing a wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Fucking
says
rats.
yeah, this conversation, this drug deal is being recorded.
So
Right.
is it less thrilling for you to have consent from people that you're now recording and speaking to?
Whoa. No,
This is ruining it for him. This is like boner killer.
I'm deeply paranoid. So in college, I would often get like into trouble, and I thought that there was like collusion with the deans against me. So I would secretly record my conversations with the deans. In case I needed.
This is 10 years ago.
In case I needed to use it.
This is 10 years ago. He was walking around with a big flower on his chest.
Exactly.
He's
right.
like,
yeah, recording technology.
so you're trying to get me
wasn't what it
kicked out of
was.
school, huh?
Yeah, they were like, "What's that in your?" You have
Your hat.
a whole camera. You're like, "This is just a bazooka." I'm within
it's
my
a gun,
rights.
don't worry.
I'm within my rights.
It's like, it's a video camera saying this very weird flower.
This is an open carry state.
Yeah.
No, I just thought that it was like you record everything, and that's what being an artist was. And then then we fucking start doing this, and it's like, oh no, you maybe like plan ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
And then-
I'm sure there's tons of gold in that and all of that.
But I did actually. At one point, I had an OkCupid profile, and I said, "Let's go on a first date, and I will record it, and then I'm gonna release it as a podcast." And I did that with a couple girls, and it was
and they were cool with it?
yeah.
No, they were recording you, and I'm sure they have another podcast called Creepy Dudes.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Right. That's
Yeah.
that's the premium. That's
Yeah.
all the stuff I didn't edit
It's
out.
on Patreon.
Yeah.
Right.
Their perspective.
Yeah.
that's a weird. And for the perspective of the victim, subscribe to my Patreon.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So I went on a couple. I think I did it 3 times, and 2 of those were just. I mean, it's recording a first interaction or a first conversation with someone. Also, people that are not like professional performers, but it's just like an accountant who all of a sudden it's like, all right, here's your lav mic, and nice to meet you. What do you do?
Wow. Well, how does that not? I mean,
You
are
grab
you
her
treating, are
ass,
you still
hit
treating
like
it
the little
seriously?
sound box in the back.
Yeah. Are you still treating it seriously as a date, though?
I think one date it
Like,
was.
how can you?
It's just a podcast that ends with
Yeah.
grunting at the end. You're like,
Yeah.
he's getting laid
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And ad for Blue Chew. There you go. That's good timing.
Yeah. It makes it very awkward. Yeah, it's not good. I'm not like saying this is something people should do.
Right.
I'm I'm opening up and being honest about
Yeah.
my mistakes.
No, I get it,
my
but I'm
missteps
genuinely
and
asking because like
failures.
you're there to record a date, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is it like you're setting it up and then you're just being yourself and actually carrying on as a date?
Yeah.
Because for me
Yeah,
it would be
kind
difficult
of,
to not
yeah.
realize that I'm recording it
Right.
and then
I think for the
try to
other
perform.
You think that was bad? Before he had me walk around as his boom operator, and that was,
yeah.
yeah,
and fluffer.
yeah, fluffer.
Yeah, so we have this limited budget. It's all just Dan.
It's all Dan.
Man, that is the
he's
worst.
Also, he's also your one listener
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It's also the yeah.
Like
Oh
and
man,
subscribe.
this is the
Dan.
worst internship ever, man. I'm not even in college. What am I getting credit for?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, yeah, for sure it ruins the date, and it's not a good way of interacting with anyone. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people were interested in it. It's also Brooklyn where, like, I remember I stopped doing that, and then I would get more messages about that than actually dating me, which was a little hurtful.
Right.
Because there's so many people that are desperate for
Oh,
fame
yeah,
or
exactly.
exposure
They're
that they're
such
like,
whores.
I'd love to do your podcast
yeah.
sometime. It's like a dominatrix who just wants to plug her business. It's so fucking funny where it's just like, I don't know if you've done this. I think we had like... we did one show that didn't go anywhere. It was like a one-off show, but you have one show and you get like 30 messages from people who are like, I'd love to do the next one.
it's
And it's
annoying.
like, this doesn't exist. It's not a thing
Yeah.
anymore.
I'm still getting messages from a show that I did twice 3 years ago.
Wow.
And people are like, I'd love to do it sometime. I was like, do you even, are you attached to some algorithm that automatically sends out things?
Yeah, totally.
Or are you blind? Because
is this a podcast or like a show?
no, it's a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a comedy
Like
show.
a stand-up show.
It was a very bad
It was-
show in the
it was
middle of
called,
nowhere.
it was called Dan Smashes His Testicle with a Hammer. So he did it twice.
Oh, yeah, I think I sent you a letter for that one,
He
actually.
ran out of balls.
I did, yeah.
And so they had to stop because the venue was like, listen, that's kind of the gimmick. That's kind of the hook.
I really,
No one really wants to hear you talk.
it's really hard to book that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yet people messaged me.
I did send you a tape for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, sorry, your balls just weren't good enough.
Yeah, I know.
to
They were
smash.
too flat.
Yeah.
They're already flattened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like, there's no journey here.
Well, I was coming to hammer somebody's balls, but you
Right.
know,
Exactly.
I didn't realize how it worked.
Right. So yeah, here we are with Pranav.
Pranav. Yeah.
Pranav. That's where the fucking
no, it's all
accent is.
good. Yeah.
Fuck, man. So many different ways. I get that a lot with my name. So I want you to know that.
I
feel
can't wait till I have to
What are
edit
some
that
other
out.
Santiago? That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean in Spanish it's Santiago, right?
Santiago.
People go San Diego.
Oh, shit.
Santiago. Santiago.
I never get a wrong
They do
name,
the
but I
accents
get
wrong.
a ton of Davids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I just let it fly.
What's
Yeah.
that about?
And
People have names that they.
it's a similar looking D sound first name that's
Sure.
oftenly attached to a Jewy face.
Jewy face. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's
David.
it. Yeah, you're looking at it.
Okay.
And I made the mistake of not correcting somebody for it went on for a while.
Yeah.
And then I was like, if I correct her now, it's going to be super embarrassing. So I just let it go.
Yeah, and I've had
And
to
then
do that.
she found out. Then she found out like 2 years later that my name was Dan and not David. And it was
She
like
broke up with you.
yeah.
Yeah, and, I mean,
She had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, I mean, I basically have a joke about this. About basically,
Yeah.
and there was a girl who I dated for like a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe.
Wow,
and
it's
I just
insane that
didn't,
you consider that dating.
didn't
This
just
is
never
weird.
changed it because I was like,
I dated her
the
for like
sex was
20
really
minutes
good.
in a
Yeah.
bathroom.
If you
So I was just on a date. My girlfriend.
I was just dating myself,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
I was on a quick date and her pimp is mad.
Boy, does that guy not take Venmo.
yeah.
I do love how with like older school prostitutes, they would call it like catching a date or whatever.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Looking for a date.
Looking for a date. And
I don't know.
how-
I don't know many that old school prostitutes.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
you don't have my mom, I guess.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. I only do the Zoomers and Boomers. Yeah.
I love that because I don't know if we were. I don't know if this was one of those situations where it's kosher to call your mom an old school prostitute.
Well,
But I'm so
only I can
glad-
do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
we have to say sex worker.
Yeah,
we have to
sex
be
worker
fucking
is
progressive
is
and get with the times.
nomenclature
Yeah.
now, for sure.
Yeah.
One of those old school sex workers. Okay. Wow.
One of those old timey sex workers.
Yeah. Do you guys talk about this? You guys do topical shit on your podcast,
We
right?
do we do a lot of topical shit. Now we do a lot of guest shit.
Oh yeah.
Which is good too. But you know, with guests, it's like whatever topics that kind of come with, whatever their
Yeah.
baggage is, we tend to kind of go over that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
before
yeah.
that, I'd say our first like 100 episodes were pretty much all very topical.
Content is so insane. Our first
You know?
100,000 hours
Yeah.
were just basically
Yeah.
tweets,
Yeah.
tweets that we liked.
So what's going on in the news?
Yeah.
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 So it was all topical, but it wasn't like recent topical. It's not like news shit.
Right.
It's like very, very subject based.
Right. I didn't want to. I don't know. So I was gonna say I don't know if you guys ran this into the ground already, but did you follow the OnlyFans thing? Talking about Pranav's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What you gonna do in October?
No, she's fine now. They
No.
had a little reversal.
They reversed it. They said we're gonna keep. So they said
Oh.
basically no. So you can still do nudes, but like no pornography, which
Yeah.
is they define it as like penetration or something like that.
Well,
Now that's what I call
Okay.
blowback.
Yeah.
Hey,
Get it?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
I quit comedy. That's
What's blowback?
get it? Blow job, blow back.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh well, like when they kiss it back in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know there was a name for that.
I think he was just going with the
thought-
general wordplay of it, and then you
Oh,
went
yeah.
I thought it
very
was just called
specific.
Snowball.
yummy,
Yeah.
yummy.
Yeah.
That's called a snowball.
Yeah. Not so.
So where I
what-
come from, a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A blowback is when you jerk off into a fan and it gets on your face. OnlyFans.
Luke, I am your father, and then you do that. You just got cummed on
Yeah.
by Darth.
Yeah.
Your father's on the other side of the fan
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so they fucking rolled it back. What were you gonna say about how they define?
I don't know. I
pornography?
all I had heard was that they were gonna anything that was like pornography related, they were
Yeah.
gonna remove or wasn't gonna be permitted, and
Yeah.
then they did a quick U-turn on that.
Yeah. So basically,
What else would you use fucking OnlyFans
The accountants
for?
came in. They're like, that's 800% of our budget.
Yeah, of
so
course.
What do we do? Yeah.
Like, what was even their reason for doing that?
It's like taking the pictures
Oh.
off of Facebook, or
Okay,
it's
so
like
the-
you
the-
have no business now.
MasterCard said that I think it was MasterCard said that they wouldn't accept. They have certain regulations around pornography, and that they wouldn't work with them unless. Basically, the payment processor was giving them a hard time, and they said it's going to be too hard to deal with this, so we'd rather just drop pornography.
Okay.
And then apparently that was not an option for their
That's
business.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's funny to think of somebody using OnlyFans for like their drawings, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Hey, check out my OnlyFans."
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh wow, did you hear about Kathy?" And it's just drawings of her cat.
It's funny. I just like pictures of like this algorithm, just like a
Yeah.
lonely woman drawing a cat like surrounded by dicks and
Yeah.
asses and pussies,
You
and
could,
know,
in theory,
and just like this little tiny little like tunnel world, innocent world. And
Here's
you're
my
just,
crochets.
right? Exactly.
It's like crocheting in a whorehouse.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what it was. But you can, in theory, we could upload this podcast to Pornhub instead of you. There's no law that says that Pornhub has to be porn. It just is allowed to be porn.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I mean, we could.
I've been planning. I was planning for a while, putting some like relevant bits on Pornhub.
Yeah?
And just uploading them up there.
I mean, like
yeah.
your cock and balls.
Yeah, you know,
The one where you jerk off into the camera.
Yeah, it's just like a fun little routine I do here.
Oh,
and
that
there.
closer where you put like a Coke bottle up your ass.
That's the one. Yeah, you guys have seen it. I did it on your show.
I saw you at Broadway.
Yeah, that is the place to do that.
That's why we book you. You know.
They're like, oh, not another one of these fucking guys.
Another? This is hack
man.
material
Hey, man,
at
can I
Broadway.
borrow your Coke bottle? I forgot mine now.
It's like, oh, please wash it out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they fucking reversed the decision, which, I don't know. I love it.
I've never used OnlyFans. Have you guys?
No.
I mean, why? What's the shame there?
I think OnlyFans it's something like ChatterBait. Also, it's on the same level as like a fucking real girl fuck doll.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm more of a chat roulette guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like it.
Oh,
random.
the app full of children.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Chat roulette. Chat roulette came out when I was in college, and it was just guys jerking off. It would be like 13 guys jerking off. Did you ever use it?
I never used it.
Do you know what it is?
I know what it is. Yeah.
So it's a random.
That's all it is now.
It's a random chat. No, it's a random chat, and it would just be like guys jerking off, and you would hit skip, and then talk to another person in like a random place of the world. And then you'd be like, hey, where do you live? I live in Brazil. Oh, that's so cool.
And then he pulls out his dick.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the best when chat roulette people would like actually talk to you for a little bit, and you're like, he's just waiting for me to let my guard down.
Yeah.
And like show me his cock. So like I would just be like, all right, cool. And then his dick would come out and be like, yes, I got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like snake charming or something. I was like, I can get him to whip it out.
Wow, what the easiest snake charming
Yeah.
is a man on the internet to show you his dick. You'll be like, yeah, I have a degree in this. So anyways, no, it's like it's weird in that it's this parasocial thing, because a lot of it is I've never paid for OnlyFans, but there are like I am sort of like in love with OnlyFans models. I love the entrepreneurial aspect, and also the aspect that it's just like literally like it'll be like a girl that works in my cafe who also has an OnlyFans, and you're like, oh, that's hot. That's like, it's not as produced as porn. You see what I'm saying? It's just someone with an iPhone in their fucking room. I mean, also people can produce it. It's like everything else where there's different levels of production value. So anyways, I followed some of these girls on social, and then they were like, oh, my OnlyFans is free this month. And I was like, sure. So I subscribed, and then all it is it's usually $25 a month, but it's just them trying to be like, hey, here's a picture of my ass. Paid $10 to see the full video. It's just more levels.
Right, of course.
It's an onion of upselling you even more.
Yeah.
And then it's like I do personals, and all the tweets are like, hey, who wants to fuck my tight ass? Who's got a big dick for me? And then you're like, this is sad, where it's like it's mimicking relationships for people who don't have them, or people who.
No, I've heard that. I've heard that. The women are like very a lot of times they're just very flirtatious. It's like the same thing at a strip club, right? They act the same way.
This has been happening forever. Before it's called the girlfriend experience.
Right.
And I can give you one for $5.99.
Really?
Yeah.
The girlfriend experience?
Yeah, the girlfriend experience.
That's right.
Daniel Lewis Veza's girlfriend experience.
You fucked my roommate?
Yeah.
Santiago, I think right now has the wife experience with you from everything I'm gathering. But you know what's funny about OnlyFans? I have a sex worker friend, and she was telling me like a lot of the same way that a lot of comedians have had anxiety about stuff like TikTok, social media stuff, you know, different ways of doing comedy.
Yeah.
And you have these totally random people who are coming in and getting millions of followers through this app, and they're doing dumb shit or whatever. Sex workers are also having the same problem with people who are randomly just logging onto OnlyFans.
Yeah. Everybody blows up, and then you're like, what the fuck what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, so I was talking to her, and she's like, yeah, I guess I got to fucking start an OnlyFans now. And she got excited when they were taking pornographic content off of there.
Yeah.
Because she was like, well, now I can kind of get back to what I do and blah, blah, blah. But
what does she do?
She's a sex worker. She's a prostitute. So,
like in person.
Real
analog.
Analog,
Yeah.
baby, old school.
It's so weird that you can actually say that now, like analog sex worker.
Yeah. So it was that kind of thing. And, so it's pretty fascinating to me that she had to go through basically what a lot of comics have had to go through, too.
Right. Yeah, I mean everything in the world has become hyper competitive.
Yeah,
and it's all about how can you push yourself in front of as many eyeballs as possible.
And as soon as you figure, like most people are just so slightly behind the curve, but like the second you figure it out is the second everyone else figures it out. And then it's what you need to do to stay above water and not get ahead.
Fucking raised. Yeah. Remember how rare it was to see a stand-up clip on Instagram 2 years ago?
Right.
It was like Andrew Schultz did, and everyone was like, "Whoa, you can just do that?"
Yeah.
And now every fucking guy has just
everybody puts clips up. Yeah. 100%.
You have to.
100%.
Do you want more water?
I mean, if is it gonna be a pain in the ass?
I just go grab it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
He also wants more gum.
Yeah, I want some more gum too.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Let's keep this going.
That's great.
Let's just do the whole. Wow. Thank you for getting rid of him.
I mean, that was a good diversion. I drank that on purpose.
Pranav, he beats me.
I know. I can tell. This room is pretty creepy
all the time.
The blue room.
Does this room freak you out? Is it like a little bit of an insane asylum?
Well, I do like the wallpaper. I was actually genuinely into it. It's just hot down here. It's hot. But that's really don't. Thank you.
Don't you just have
Hold on, I'm
an
coming.
argument.
Hold on a second, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I've been telling fucking Dan for weeks, it's hot as balls. Get a fucking fan, and Dan's like, it's not hot. It's hot as fuck. Yes.
It's fine though. I'm good with it.
See how people are polite?
Yeah, because they're being polite.
You get the best out of them when they're on the verge of passing out.
You don't smell terrible. What are you talking about, right? Like Dan mistakes societal politeness for being right. Yeah.
I was gonna say, but I do think you shit your pants a little bit. I was like, see, he's nice about it.
It's good.
Yeah. What's going on? All right, so we have Pranav.
We're here. We're in it. Let's not get back. Let's not retread old material.
It doesn't.
I keep fucking it up.
It's okay. Don't worry about
it. Did you bring any scams? You got any stories?
I do have a bit of a scammy story.
Us?
I have a scammy story.
Laid on us
from when I was. I guess I was maybe 16 years old.
Yeah.
And so I was just into smoking weed. I was starting to get into smoking weed, and I grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Right? Harrisburg.
That's late for the weed game.
Yeah, it was 16. Well, I'd started smoking weed probably first time 14, but I didn't really get into it till I was like 16.
Yeah.
Are you a pothead now?
No, not really.
Did you stop?
I didn't stop. I still smoke weed here. Yesterday I took half an edible.
Nice.
Just, hung out with a friend and blah blah blah. I was fine.
I love when people are like, no, not really. And you're like, I'm high right now.
Yeah, I'm fucking stoned off my ass right now.
Just take my edibles in the morning.
It's not a very regular part of my life at this point.
Right.
I don't love weed, and for many different reasons. Right.
Yeah.
But 16, I'm interested in getting weed. Most people don't know this, but Harrisburg was a pretty fucked up city. Actually, it's a terrible city.
In
actually.
what way?
It's like high murder rate, tons of crime, stuff like that, especially back then, right?
Yeah.
And so, early aughts. And so I remember, going there, and I'm an Indian kid, and there's not a lot of Indian kids, and in my perception of the culture at the time, which was of course correct, nobody was going to respect like an Indian kid, right? Especially if he's going to the hood to try and find drugs.
Yeah.
So I started to take on this alter ego of being Italian, and I would just tell people I'm Italian.
That's
and
so funny.
I would just tell people my name's Tony, because I was like, nobody could ever be intimidated by the name Pranav, and we're gonna fucking rob this guy.
And what were you just going for? I'm just gonna pretend to be the most Sicilian dude
I was
ever.
basically, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I would comb my hair back and be like, no, and I wouldn't ham it up and be like, hey, what's going on over the Moulignans over here? Let me get some weed. No.
Pinstripe suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Flipping a quarter.
And that was olive oil and everything.
Uzi in a fucking guitar case.
Yeah. So I'm just like, people ask me, I'm like, no, I'm Tony, and that would be it, And also, I think it's all that. One of the reasons why I did that was because I think my parents, when they came over here, my mom didn't assimilate correctly, and so she thought Italians were the class of people that you have to watch out for. Italians are bad,
That's correct. She assimilated
and I
properly.
think full circle, she is correct.
I feel like your mom is Irish.
Kind of.
It's like that's a very Irish
but
attitude.
She would say stuff to me we had neighbors across the street, the Benettis, and I'd be like, I'm gonna go over to their place, but no, don't do it. I'm like, what? The name ends in a vowel, she would say, and I'm like, bitch, our name ends in a vowel too.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking? So she had this weird paranoia, and also literally her best friend wasn't an Italian woman, it was an Italian American woman. Yeah. It was very bizarre. But I was raised to believe, okay, Italians are really the scary people. Or whatever,
That's
right?
So funny.
And so I took on this persona of hey,
your
I'm
mom
Tony.
just saw Goodfellas.
Basically, The Godfather, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
It's this is what they call good fellas. Imagine what they call bad fellas.
Right.
I'm not taking the risk. Yeah.
So here I am. I'm going to this neighborhood called, I think it was Allison Hill, to a notorious project. And I'm going there to buy weed.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's so funny that Did you have to go to the projects to buy weed?
I know.
You have to go to like the darkest of the dark to buy weed?
At the time, I didn't know where else to kind of get it, right? It wasn't like things weren't as available.
When you first want to smoke weed, you're just a person. You're like, okay, now what?
You like,
you know?
I got to go to a crack house.
I got to find a guy,
right?
or
I got to find a guy with a gun.
What you do is the first move is you find somebody with an older brother or sister, and then you ask them what to do.
See, that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
But that's a bottleneck, right? In terms of getting weed. And at this point, I'm like,
you ask your cousin, he's like, pretend you're Italian.
Yeah, but like I have friends who are from these neighborhoods, and they're like, okay, I know where you can go to get. You have to go on this street, this street. You can get weed, and I was very into weed, so I was like, I'll do whatever the fuck it takes, man. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm going in as Tony, you know, not as Pranav, like nerdy Indian kid. And so I go in and I start. You know, people are like, okay, Tony, yeah, I got you. And they'll sell me like a dime bag or a few dime bags of weed or whatever. And then I'm taking it back to all my friends and being like, okay, guys, here it is, and blah, blah, blah.
You're the connect. You're the source.
So I'm like out here scamming these guys, like thinking it's not just some nerdy Indian, but it's Tony, you know, really dangerous and menacing kid who drives up in a Dodge Spirit. Like, okay.
You came up with the whole backstory.
Yeah, exactly.
Tony's parents left when he was young. He had to fend for himself on the streets.
It's just the Godfather Part 2, like Rob De Niro's
that's
thing.
what it was.
It was like
my father was killed, and my mother avenged him.
Yeah, and then I had to run away.
Then I had to run away.
Yeah, then I met this guy named Clemenza.
It's
a whole thing.
So it's $10.
I'm in the olive oil business. They're like, yeah, listen, it's $10, man.
You go too far, and it was like, anyway, then I died of a heart attack. Fuck, no, wait. Fuck. Yeah. Then my son Michael took over the family, and it went over shit. Yeah. So anyways, the day of my daughter's wedding, can I have some weed? Yeah.
Can I ask this? Do you think you're Italian passing?
No, at the time, like I was a little bit lighter skinned.
Yeah,
and like it would be like a Sicilian.
Yeah,
thing. It was less about being like I'm Italian as it was like not Indian, then. Yeah, just giving.
It's funny if you're like, I'm actually Pakistani.
Yeah,
we're like, oh,
Pakistani over here.
When did you have a mustache? You have.
I'm 16. I'm a hirsute guy.
You have serious facial hair.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, well, I mean, you used to have a beard.
I have like a beard the way a kid in high school has a beard, where it's kind of like scraggly.
It connects. It connects.
No, it didn't connect. It didn't connect.
Dan's connects.
This guy's fucking selling me down the river. He's like, I was there. It didn't connect. I was there. It looked
Wait,
like
how long
shit.
have you guys known each other?
We started comedy together in Berlin, so we've known each other 6 years. 6 years. Yeah. We moved here like 3.5 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Then we later found out that we had the same dad.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was,
Is that true?
Coincidence, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that, yes.
My mom fucked someone real nerdy, and then, wait, that doesn't work. Okay,
yeah.
I fucked the math up on that incest joke, but...
It's fine, yeah, we have the same dad.
So I didn't have any facial hair then.
Okay.
You know,
but so you were like, no, you could say, I'm Sicilian,
mustache.
no one would fucking...
Yeah, I mean,
think
they
twice.
Didn't know. Yeah, they didn't think twice about it.
Right.
But you know, I'm getting away with the scam maybe twice, and then finally they scammed me.
How?
I gave it to this guy's name was Bird, and he was a very
Bird.
But he wasn't a bird.
Yeah. He wasn't a bird at all. It was a lie, and that's how I got scammed. Yeah. He was a mammal.
Exactly. Wait, this is the guy you're buying drugs from?
Yeah, and I remember him distinctly. You know, he was very charismatic. He had a gold tooth with Mickey Mouse on it.
How old was he?
He was probably like 22 or something.
Imagine ripping off teenagers for weed.
It's great. That's awesome. It's a great little side business.
Well,
aside from, in addition to your regular drug dealing
it's the kind of person that a person with a Mickey Mouse tooth would do.
Yeah.
He's like, look, these are expensive.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting there.
Saving up for Donald Duck next to...
He didn't want to get like the knockoff.
Yeah, exactly.
Looney Tunes, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So I waited on the street corner for like an hour because it was like, give me the money. He goes somewhere to go get me the weed or whatever. And then finally this time he just never came back. It was like an hour. And I'm like, fuck.
He did the old dad getting his cigarettes.
He did.
Abandoned you.
He really triggered my abandonment issues, which I started crying now.
Had you successfully bought weed from him before? Or?
I had bought weed from him one time before that. And before that, I had bought it 2 times from somebody more reliable,
right?
Who just wasn't around.
Big Bird.
I have to say,
his older brother.
His name was Oscar. Yeah. He wasn't that nice, but he was reliable.
He was always there.
Yeah, he stayed put. You know,
Get your shit together, Oscar.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Also, he looks like he's made of weed.
He's
Oscar
got.
the Grouch.
Believe it or not, there's another trash can
Yeah.
that he keeps right next to him that he stashes the weed in.
That he
He's just
stashes
his
the weed in,
sheddings.
yeah.
That's
Then
why
he's got another one filled with prostitutes.
Yeah.
He's so upset. That's why he's so grouchy. Everyone keeps trying to smoke him.
Yeah.
It's like these prostitutes are dirty. It was like you found him in a trash can. What did you expect? Yeah.
So then I got scammed in turn by Bird, and I thought, okay, well maybe just something happened to him. I was like really naive. I was like, is he okay? So I came back like the next day, and they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, he's not there. I'm like, I don't know where he is. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't even know where he is. He's a fucking scam artist. Why would you talk to that guy to begin with? And they're telling you, they're like, he had a Mickey Mouse on a gold tooth. Why were you talking to Bird to begin with, you idiot?
Right.
His real name is Bird.
But you had
That's not a nickname.
You had successfully bought weed from him.
One time.
Interesting.
One time. And apparently he just had a horrible reputation, even in among his own cohort.
Yeah.
And he had just skipped town, which I like to think was he was so scared of me that he just left for good. But
you were
I never pissed off an Italian before.
He was like, I pissed off the mafia. I ripped off the mafia. Now I'm on the run.
Yeah.
Do you know that? That's Tony Behari.
Yeah.
You don't want to get on his bad.
You want to fuck with Don Behari.
His name ends in a vowel.
Tony
Tikka
Masala.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dark Tony Bahari. That's you want to fuck with him. Yeah. So you never was it good weed?
No, I mean it was shitty weed.
I don't know. That makes a big difference.
It was terrible. It was bad
the fact
weed.
that you would ask.
It was bad weed.
Yeah.
The problem was that I'd been gaining such a good rep among like girls at school
for having
weed.
Hey,
I'm the guy who can like get some weed now sometimes, and they're relying on me, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
It's so funny how that's a thing, like access.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I was the one who had the courage to go and do that.
I remember in high school,
Yeah.
like it was all like I had a friend with a fake ID and we would just all buy Natty Lights and it would be like big parties with Natty Lights.
Which is
like
a 30 rack.
Yeah.
You have a 30 rack and it's like a party.
Yeah. And then one day we got Coronas.
Yeah.
And literally like all the girls like called up the other was you got to get over here, there's Coronas.
Yeah.
We have access to, and they're not fucking around. They have, I think there's like 8 or 9 limes left to get here before they're out of limes. You got to do this.
They're just sucking dick for Coronas. They're giving up anal for fucking Coronas.
Like
they're going nuts.
Yeah, man.
That's why Tijuana's like that. The donkey shows is because they have so many Coronas there that they'll fuck a donkey for the Coronas.
But it's amazing in high school what you consider fancy.
Yeah.
You know, because it was seriously like, it was Coronas and Yinlings.
Yingling Lager was big for us.
Yeah. When you had the Yinling, then that was also a big deal.
Yeah. Yingling Lager, because I grew up in Pennsylvania too. So
it's from there, right?
It's from there, and it's very good.
It's
Yingling.
a good beer.
Yeah.
Is that a Chinese name, Yingling?
It sounds like it, but it's German.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You never heard of
you go so German it becomes Chinese at a certain point. Yeah. That's how languages work.
I used to do that accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do that bit on stage.
Why don't you do it now? For all your listeners.
Oh my God.
Okay, German one. Okay.
Yeah. It starts and then it morphs into. I don't know. What's the thing Chinese people say? Is this kosher? I feel like,
Is this kosher? That's something a Chinese person could
Actually,
say.
I'm Jewish and you can't say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Unless you're not talking about cheese.
I asked a Muslim comic. I was like, "Is it kosher if I do this?" And he goes, "It's so kosher, it's halal." And I was like, "Oh, whoops, my bad." Is it cool to do accents still? Can you do that? Right?
I mean, I don't really care.
Yeah, you don't give a shit.
That's never been my hill to battle on.
You know what's weird? There's a guy who he talks just like you and me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, you know how you and I have the same accent.
Uh-huh.
He talks. He's just like a third or fourth generation immigrant. But then he does a character that's like, "Oh my God, hello."
Where is he from? He's German.
No, I was did a fucking German accent. I think
that'd be hilarious if a guy from Germany was like, "I'm gonna do up this Chinese stuff."
Yeah.
I think I would guess he's Vietnamese, but he does like a fobbish, like heavy immigrant accent. But he's just a regular dude. It's like, how is that kosher? Just because, like, I get that that's the rule that we've landed on, but it's still not how you talk, right? Like, I don't have a thick Latino accent. My parents are immigrants from Colombia, right? My mom has an accent. But, like, to come out and be like, "Oh, hey, how is everyone doing today?" It's like, there are people who that's their fucking shit, and you're basically just making fun of them, and it's not your life.
Well, I'm having a hard time. Are you for people doing accents or anti?
I think everyone should get to do every accent.
Everyone should get to do every accent.
I think it's weird. I think
what
it's
happens.
weird the rules of permissibility that we've put on, that it's like, this is kosher, but that's not. I feel like it's all or nothing. Just let it go.
No,
you know?
like he'll do a bit with like an accent to me. He was like, what do you think? I was like, you want to try it, but I wouldn't try it like in Fort Greene, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Especially
for me.
if it's
I
like
think,
10 minutes long.
Yeah, I think the funniness of the bit determines its permissibility a lot
really?
of times. I mean, I don't know if I crack up really hard at something that is obviously a little bit racist. To me, it's kind of gets a pass because. Even if it's about Indians or whoever it is, right? I mean, there's a certain level of like intellect that can go into making something that dumb that's that funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me, that's always been the rule. Is like, listen, if it's genuinely funny, but that's a highly subjective thing, right?
Right.
So I can't tell like a Vietnamese guy, no, that's funny, man. Trust me, bro.
Right.
Listen, it's funny. Like I can't do that,
right?
You know? But I can have a control over what I'm offended about.
Sure, that's fair. That makes sense. Anyways, no, I'm not going to do a Chinese accent right now.
That's the whole thing. The whole point being, Santiago, do the Chinese accent.
We were leading up
because you
to it,
need
man.
to do a German morphing into a Chinese accent to do the bit.
Oh
my God! You no pay, you no stay here.
That's not
you have to go.
That was not bad.
That was a pretty rough transition.
No, you know what? You know what was artful about that was the pitch. It was a continuation of the pitch. And
I would call that very juxtaposed. Actually, that was.
My God, I have a problem with my. If you not pay, you have to go. You go.
There it
It's
is.
getting better.
That's how you do it.
Getting better.
I say we change the theme of this podcast right now
Yeah.
to accents with Santiago.
And I don't know. I think we just found the clip for this episode.
But the way that you have to make it work is the problem I'm having here is it's just the Chinese person has to be saying something that is also a joke and for the joke to work, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. So what's a racist joke? What do you guys think? I'm kidding. I had a similar story related to yours. One time, there was actually 2 times that I got ripped off on drug deals.
Yeah.
Actually, probably way more.
No one's ever not gotten ripped
probably
off
way
on the
more
drug
than
deal
that.
in the
Rite of
beginning.
passage.
Yeah.
I was staying in a hostel, and there
That's
was
what I did for my bar mitzvah, actually.
there was an
Yeah,
Irish
yeah.
guy.
I did
Your
the-
rabbi sold you a dime bag of oregano.
Yeah, I'm like no, it's just got like everything bagel like seasoning on it. You're like, this smoke's familiar, Rabbi. He's like, it's a good stuff, my son.
Yeah.
You are now a man. Yeah.
Right. You're now a sad man.
Yeah.
One time I was staying in a hostel, and there was like a drunk Irish guy who I thought was older, but he was like 23, but I was like 19. And he was like, let's go find cocaine. And we were in San Francisco. And we were like in the Tenderloin, and we started it's the projects, and this is 2007. And he started just like asking people on the street for coke, and one guy was like, "Cocaine? Yeah, I got you, man." And he ran up, and he got
It's like dandruff.
yeah, I think it was crack, but this guy paid like $50 for like a rock of crack.
Runs into a baking shop, and you're like,
Yeah. But the guy was in there for like 20 minutes. Like, it's so funny to be like, where did I leave that coke? I know I had it somewhere. Where was that cocaine? Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Sweetie, where'd you put the coke?
And he comes back.
It's in the dresser under
I've
your
been trying to get rid of this one dime bag.
Yeah.
He comes back and he gives him the fucking the shit, and then the guy chops it up. I'm not doing any. I didn't do like drugs at that point. And then he was like, fuck, we got ripped off. That was it. I'm just sitting there drunk with a guy. But at least he had the decency to give him something fake, you know?
Yeah, maybe it was crack.
That's nicer.
Like.
Yeah, maybe it was crack.
I don't
that
think
he just
you'd be like
crushed up.
Disappointed for crack. You'd be like, okay, I'm on crack now.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta.
If you don't snort it, does it have the same effect? Or if you don't smoke it, right? Isn't the whole point?
He should have just smoked it though.
Well,
He's all drunk in the Tenderloin, and what he's gonna have put on airs about. Oh, this isn't pure enough. He pulls out a tester or something.
Right,
I mean,
right.
come on. Andy's from Ireland. Like they're getting the best shit over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, he was
Part
very.
of the French Connection. It stops by Ireland before. Yeah.
He's very upset. But your guy just disappeared.
He just disappeared. Nobody had heard from him.
Yeah.
And then I heard other sources that were like, "Yeah, that guy's gone forever."
Do you want to do a guessing game? What do you think he is right now?
I think right now, he was so scared of me, he went on the lam.
Yeah.
He moved to the Midwest somewhere. I think he's the mayor of a small town in the Midwest. He totally
He
reinvented
joined the Witness
himself.
Protection Program.
He just completely reinvented himself.
Who's that?
He's like a deacon at his local church.
Yeah.
He a well-respected businessman, and he was mayor for a little while.
His turnaround story is like, I used to be hit bottom, but then when I got involved involved with the mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I found God. Yeah. This man was the most Sicilian gangster you've ever seen in your life.
Right. It's so funny that that's exactly when he left town, because he was about to leave town, and then you were like, do you have any weed? And he was like, oh, nice, $10.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, it's just enough for a bus ticket.
He was about to skip town anyways, and he was like, let me just rip off one last guy. He just loves ripping people off so much.
You gave him money as he's getting on the bus?
There's a guy out to kill him, and he's like, I mean, I have a couple minutes to rip off this guy. I mean, this fucking Italian guy, come on.
He gets on the bus, like, next stop, next town over. One-way bus, next stop. Yeah.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah. Bird, if you're out there, and I hope you're doing well, man.
Yeah, he's
doing well.
Hey, we're here.
He's ripping off kids pretending to be Italian all across America right now. Yeah, he's the snake oil salesman of,
Oh, there was a rumor back then that when Old Dirty Bastard had been, this is when I was a little kid, when Old Dirty Bastard had been on the run from the police, he went to Harrisburg and hid out with some cousins there.
Oh.
That's great.
You know a real story about Old Dirty Bastard when he was on the run?
Let's hear it.
There was a concert, and he went on stage while he'd escaped from jail, I think, or something like that. And he went on stage at a Wu-Tang Clan concert and then continued being on the run.
Amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It's his craft, you know?
Imagine having tickets to that. That's
that's
incredible. You're like, man, they fucking really delivered with these guys. They pulled all the stops. They got busted a guy out of jail.
And then this famous fugitive showed up in the middle of the run for the police. He had to cut his set short, but
then Jeffrey Dahmer came on stage and was like, yo.
The police show up, they got on stage, it was like, was Old Dirty Bastard just here? Everyone's like, no, we didn't see him.
Exactly.
Like, no one rats him out.
They just keep running.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to be fucking out of your mind to do that,
Yeah. I mean, I think that was kind of his thing, though.
Yeah,
He just had like the biggest balls on earth.
You think so? You think it was balls and not just like
I think he had like a bit of a screw loose, but like he was a great rapper.
Yeah.
And like, you would listen to him talk sometimes and he's like unusual, but I don't think he was like totally insane.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, he definitely knew what he was up to.
His name was Old Dirty Bastard. Yeah.
It's true.
It wasn't young, clean, legitimate son.
Yeah, it wasn't born yesterday, bastard.
And I mean, I imagine his childhood was kind of fucked up too, and like,
you think so?
I mean,
Old Dirty Bastard.
Just saying, it's like, so I don't think he's like insane. I think he's like
different values, different like.
He's a different dude,
Yeah.
A different guy.
Yeah, that's true. There was a story about this is a killer story. I think Pablo Escobar, the FBI, like everybody was looking for him. Obviously, he's banned from America.
Yeah.
But he's like the number one wanted dude, and he took a picture with his kid in front of the White House, and I think he sent it to newspapers to like taunt the Americans.
I've seen that picture.
Like, I can get in and out of here with no problem.
That's so awesome.
I've definitely seen that picture. I didn't know that he was on the run when that happened.
I have a tunnel going right up to the Oval Office.
I don't know if he's on the run, but he's certainly like one of the most wanted men in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, what's up, guys?
That's hilarious, dude. So funny.
It's so cool.
El Chapo had the best escape ever, which is like, did you remember seeing his escape tunnel after
I didn't see it.
They got him, they put him in jail, he was in Mexican jail,
Yeah.
and his escape tunnel was like nice.
Like it was furnished.
No, it had no
wallpaper,
stripper poles.
It was seriously like it had like a nice track. It had, and instead of walking, there was a cart that people pushed him on.
Right.
It was like a prince being led, like held out of escaping prison. They did the whole thing, and
I think that says more about corruption in that country.
Yeah.
than
I mean, also the guy's a billionaire, like a multi
classical music's playing in the hall.
Yeah, you can make that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Without any problem. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, Elon Musk should take fucking note.
She should, really. And throw him in jail.
I wonder if like one of the guards was like, El Chapo, what type of music do you want playing in your escape tunnel? He's like,
well, for the first leg, for the first third of it, I want Mozart.
Yeah. And then switch to Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah.
Cool. I had did you have any other scam stories?
I don't really have a lot of scam stories.
I sympathize with you.
Yeah.
In that I have often bought the first 2-3 years of my weed smoking, I think maybe I smoked weed like 20 times out of maybe the 200 I was trying.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of puffing and be like, man, it smells like a fucking pizzeria in here. I don't think I'm gonna get high. Yeah. So that was the whole childhood.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we were saying it's a rite of passage. You got to get scammed at that early of an age.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but that's the only thing that you can really do that with is drugs. Like that had happened with many different drugs before too. I remember I bought acid one time, and it was just paper.
Yeah, that's an easy one to scam.
It's a very easy one to scam.
That happened to my friend as well.
It was just pure paper.
Yeah.
But just at Kinko's cutting up tiny slices of paper,
exactly.
and you're like, "This is the scam. Here we do. I'm gonna get idiots to put this on their tongue."
Yeah, and that's how Amazon.com
was it perforated?
Was financed, huh?
Was it perforated? Did it have
it wasn't even. I was just too dumb to know either way. Right?
Yeah.
I had no idea what acid was about or whatever. And my friends were like, "Get
was
some
like,
acid." And
dude, what type of acid did you get? 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're like, I just ate a sheet of acid. You're like, I'm so full. I'm stuffed. Yeah.
Do I eat 11 by 17? You fucking pussy, man. What's I do? Yeah.
It was bonded.
Yeah.
That was Jared Garcia's thing. Is he ate legal pads?
Yeah.
That's why his solos were so good. That's funny.
I guess you could make a Bible out of acid.
Yeah,
You could,
they're called
if you
books.
could print anything.
People buy and sell entire books of acid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a good idea.
Isn't
good
it
idea.
like it's like 100 dots a page, and then you
one sheet.
That's one sheet, and then you buy like a pack of like 10 sheets or something like that,
okay.
and then you sell it. Acid is a very bad business
do you think,
to sell as drugs.
Do you think acid makers have to go to Kinko's to get their acid bound?
No.
You know, like a nice cover for your acid book.
The paper,
can you make the acid out of hemp?
And then
or
there's
the
one
cover
shitty
out of
little
hemp?
sheet of plastic
Yeah,
as the cover.
yeah.
And on the front it
little
says
plastic
acid.
thing, a presentation.
Yeah.
And then it's your cover letter
With shading effects.
3 different fonts.
Hey man, can I borrow your book again?
Yeah.
I just love reading your book.
Yeah.
It's like half the book came back last time.
Acid is a bad business model.
It's
I agree.
a bad business model because it's not like if you get somebody who wants Coke, right? It's like $100 a gram, and fucking they can call you multiple times in a night.
Call you, yeah.
And then all their friends want it. If you give somebody acid,
they're gonna buy 2, and they're gonna call you maybe twice a year.
or they get 8, and they're like, "Wow, that was great." And
Yeah.
then if you really have a good trip, you're like, "I realize I don't need anything. I have everything I need." You're selling somebody that makes people realize they're like, "I need to slow down with consumers and get in touch with myself."
Acid is that good that it's like, oh, thank you, drug dealer, you cured me.
Yeah,
and now I don't need
exactly.
drugs anymore.
Of course, yeah. Anything that actually works is not a good business model. That's why everything that you pay money for is, in the end, a scam.
Yeah,
Like
and-
therapy. Therapy doesn't work, and it makes you worse as a person. I'm kidding. I'm in therapy. But there is an aspect to it of like, does this go somewhere, or is it literally just like every week I'm like,
Meanwhile,
this is why I'm sad.
Is there like an obsolescence model to therapy as well?
Right, yeah. My girlfriend's therapist apparently told her that I fixed her, and so there's nothing. She said, now that you met Santiago, there's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah.
You know, she started to get bummed about that. She was like, "Talk to him; he can fucking save you."
Yeah, I'm gonna describe Prozac
like, "Just
and
hold on."
Santi's dick.
Yeah,
It's it's the key to happiness.
her therapist told her to hold on to my coattails. That's what she said. Yeah, that's her prescription. Yeah, but where it just feels like therapy. It's fucking insane because I've been seeing this woman for like a year and a half, my therapist, and I don't mind the sessions. They're enjoyable often, but it's also just like I feel like I fucking told you everything, and now I feel like I just pop in and give you an update of like, yeah, stand-up's going all right. I mean, I've been podcasting with Dan. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like I pay you $100 to give you an update.
Tell me more about this podcast with Dan.
Right.
I mean, I guess it depends on why you got into it, right? Like
Yeah.
why you started it, and that's usually the measure of how well it's helping.
That's a funny way of starting to go to therapy. How'd you get into it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Friend of a friend. Yeah.
How'd you get into it?
Yeah. My older brother did it. I thought he was so cool.
Do you go to therapy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see a
Yeah.
therapist.
I don't know if like I think it's a misconception. Like, so part of it is like I think you reach a certain age and then there's just like general unhappiness, and maybe you can hitch it to certain things. For me, addiction is a big part of it, so I wanted to talk to her about like addiction and all this. But then even if my addiction is like not flaring up at the moment, it's still just like a general feeling about life that I don't know if it ever goes away, like existential malaise.
Right.
Right? Unless maybe like the answer is like literally just being a better person, and it's the one thing I refuse to do.
Yeah.
Like I've told her multiple times, like I feel like I should just stop doing all this bullshit like comedy and just go help people that you could very easily do, and I would feel much more fulfilled as a person. But I was like, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, who wants
She's
to do
like,
that?
but you're so talented. The world needs this podcast about scams. Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. She'll be like, I think you're very funny. I'm like, that doesn't help.
Yeah.
that doesn't do shit for me. She's like, you can tell me jokes if you want. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that.
Wow,
Also,
can you imagine
what are you going to do when she's like, that one stinks?
So I was molested as a child. It's like, that's very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny. Now tell a joke about how your father didn't do anything about it. Yeah.
I mean, I like therapy because it's like it's a good place to process shit that's not in my own head. You know,
Like, oh, sure.
just on the regular.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's become for me.
Yeah, exactly.
right?
That's what it's become.
You
But do you
get the
feel
comics that go on stage and say it's therapy, and it was like, yeah, that's why you're bad at this.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
You're
believe in
super
that. Like,
bad.
this is my therapy. Like,
You're
no,
super
shut
bad.
up.
Yeah.
It's
Lesson
terrible.
one, this is not therapy.
And nobody wants to like burden their friends all the time with whatever the fuck is going on in their head.
Right.
And like, so
is that the idea? It's out of like politeness for friendships, not to
Well,
like,
it's-
not to like.
it's just it's a designated space to process reality. I think it can be that for some people. Then I think there's people who have specific goals with it too, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe your relationships are failing and there's a pattern in those.
Sure,
right? You had
sure,
mentioned
sure.
addiction.
Yeah.
You know, shit
I
like
didn't mention that.
No, well, whatever.
You
know,
brought
I'm,
that.
I'm
You put that-
gaslighting
you. Put
you.
that on me.
I'm gaslighting you now.
Don't project onto me.
So I think that's why maybe it's useful.
Yeah.
But you know, even therapies kind of can be scammy, though.
Of
for
course
sure.
it is, because people like it's almost like codependent in a certain way, when it's like there's no clear goals and you're not making any progress and you're just kind of like there.
You're just kind of rolling with it, and
is
it's pretty loosey goosey. And
now, is this just a second rent that I have to fucking pay to not be suicidal?
yeah,
You see what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
basically.
Yeah.
Do you guys know who Kenneth Bianchi is?
Who's
No.
He was he was a serial killer in the,
Oh, nice.
in the
Yeah.
late 70s. He was part of a duo called the Hillside Stranglers.
It's
Nice.
so funny how when someone drops a name, you're like, fuck, I'm embarrassed. I don't know it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, serious? It's like, no, I don't need to
Yeah, you don't need to
brush
know
up
that.
on my
You don't
1970s
need-
serial killers.
You don't need to know that, but
I
Yeah.
like that serial killers have cool names and that he's a duo. He's a double act.
they were
Yeah.
they're originally known as the Hillside Strangler
Yeah.
until they realized it was two
Can you
of
imagine? It
them.
was like, listen, I'm just going to say it. I think we should murder people together.
Yeah, exactly. Let's take this to the next level, man.
You and me.
And
Yeah.
then there's like solo acts that look down on double acts.
It's
You're
like, come
it's
on,
a crutch.
man.
Yeah, it's a
I got,
crutch.
yeah. It's like,
They're
man,
like-
that guy's just a fucking prop act. He's
Yeah.
just got a
Yeah,
gun and a
yeah,
shovel. That's all
yeah.
you need, you know?
But this guy, he was obviously like a lot of serial killers. I think are kind of scammy or whatever, right? Because you're a sociopath. You
They're
learn
not
to
the
lie
most
and all
honest
that.
people.
But
I've noticed.
he went into business.
Hey, I'm
He-
going to kill you. Yeah.
he hung up a shingle on a door, in which he referred to himself as a licensed psychotherapist, and like took patients regularly. And just like I don't think he killed any of them, but he would just take patients regularly
Oh.
and like
Oh, we didn't kill him?
didn't kill him. No, he just
that's
this
nice.
is just another little thing that he had going.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, so he had two scams, killing people.
But then
and-
this guy,
Well, that's
when he
the
went
other
on
thing.
trial at the
Yeah.
time, there was like this whole thing that was in vogue, I think, in psychotherapy. And it was about multiple personality disorder as opposed to like schizophrenia,
Yeah.
right? Multiple personality disorder. And there'd been this like TV movie with Sybil
Yeah.
Shepherd in it at the time. And this guy saw that this was like a big deal. So when he was on trial in court, he
Yeah.
like invented this alter ego for himself that was, and he
To
tried to scam
try to
it
get
that way.
insanity, to
He-
get off on an insanity plea. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. He tried to say he had multiple personality disorders.
Yeah.
So
And one of them is a rapist murderer.
yeah, exactly.
It's like, well, we need to put all of your personalities in jail
yeah.
Yeah.
because of that one personality. Yeah. Yeah,
is kinda
listen,
weird that
I'm
you
sorry,
can
but one bad apple ruins the bunch, buddy. Yeah.
The cops are like, that's not true.
Yeah.
We're not going to hold that standard.
The cops like,
The bailiff is like, no.
they shoot the judge. They're like,
Yeah.
listen. Yeah.
It's funny that apparently playing God with other people's brains is on par with killing them, to the point
I
that
mean-
if you get to do that, you don't even need to kill them.
It's
Yeah.
exactly
You got
right.
what you wanted.
Yeah,
It's
that guy's
totally
just
right.
listening to someone's problem. Is like, oh, you should be a part of my other business.
Yeah.
Well, that
Oh
sounds.
man,
I'm gonna
put-
write you a prescription.
I brought you into the wrong side
Dark
hustle.
alley.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Johnny Knoxville prank. Just put up a therapist sign and
Yeah.
then just pretend to give people therapy.
Exactly.
I would
Yeah.
love to fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would. That sounds like a horrible thing to do.
It sounds like such a funny
An
thing to
incredible,
do.
immoral thing to do is to pretend to be a therapist
How-
and listen to
okay,
people's problems.
But also, not to victim blame, but how fucking. is it like how bullshit are therapists that any guy can just be like,
do it.
I'm this, and people go in and be like, yeah, so my mother was distant, and they're like, interesting, and you never pick up that they're not saying anything close, like no psychological jargon or anything like that.
It's because like there's no what's the receipt for a good therapy session though?
Well, that's
right?
the thing. There's
you know what I mean? It's like
Meanwhile, you can't even prescribe
what's the product
anything.
that's there, right?
Meanwhile,
That
it's
you're
like,
getting out of it. It's like it's pretty nebulous.
Yeah, he's like,
and nobody knew what the fuck this was about, and it was the 70s. Nobody fucking had any clue.
Yeah.
right.
Even now, people don't fucking have a clue.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
Guys, I say we start our own scam therapy right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Pitch it to me. What's the business? I need a business plan.
Well, we prescribe weed to them and sell them oregano.
Oh, yeah?
We give them oregano, yeah.
Let's combine all the scams that
Yeah.
we've been talking about.
Right.
One mega scam. Yeah.
I have a prescription. I
Just
think,
robbing somebody at that point.
Right. My prescription is I think you need to be more Italian. Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. Therapy, it's weird, I guess. It does feel like at a certain point,
Was it the first? You're going now? Did you go before? Is this your first round?
No,
doing it?
I've gone to therapy. I'd say now I'm like 3 years in with my current therapist.
Okay,
yeah.
but
I'd been in therapy
is
before
there a
as
metric?
well.
Do you have a metric that you'll say once I'm doing this, then I'm happy and I can move on?
Well, my thing about therapy and like psychoanalysis in general is I think it's like if you can make that a practice, if you have the luxury of doing it, you should do it.
Yeah.
It's a good practice.
Yeah.
You know, there's many. It's not just about like I think there's
it's
like
eating healthy or something.
Let's turn you towards the camera.
Sorry, I didn't mean. Sorry about that, guys. Turn my back on you.
I think your head.
I think
It's been pretty good the whole time. It's been pretty good for a lot of time.
I think it was only recently, but if you go for like, there's people who go in because they have a specific thing.
Yeah.
And then they'll get like cognitive behavioral therapy,
Right.
dialectical behavioral therapy, things like that.
Once
right?
cock and ball torture stops making me come so hard.
I mean, I don't know. I think
I'll
maybe
be
that
like,
is your therapy.
I'll call her and I'll be like, it worked.
No, I think that is
She
your
stepped
therapy.
on him and nothing came out.
She should be prescribing that.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, yeah.
You know what?
Not the problem.
You go to the pharmacy. It's like, you want me to torture your cock and
Yeah,
balls?
exactly. All right. Therapist
That's
takes his
right.
glasses off.
He's like, this is what we have the interns for.
This is actually a thing that happened. So I've been seeing a girl for a couple months, and I told my
Not your
therapist,
therapist, okay.
not my therapist, and I told my therapist, I was like, it's my first time being kind of like in a longer relationship that doesn't completely fall apart immediately, and she was like, "Oh, you having trouble staying interested?" I was like, "No, not really." And she was like, "You could always spice it up. You could role play." Like, she's so open-minded. She's like,
Fuck outta here.
She was like, there were strap-ons for women, and I was like, "That's fine. That's not what I was suggesting at all." But she's just going way dirtier than me.
It's so funny. Your therapist is like, we're in New York. He's a young guy. I know what to tell him. Put something in your butt.
Yeah, she's like, listen, if she's not milking your prostate, you got to find a girl who will. And I'm
Meanwhile,
like, I have no.
what is she reading the New England Journal of Medicine, being like the latest thing is like to suggest getting a strap on in the ass?
Yeah, well, she is sponsored by Dildo King, so I should have seen that one coming. Yeah.
Why is it Dildo Kings and not Dildo Queens?
Oh, that's right. Dildo King was a famous dildo shop in Berlin, and you would see their
really?
ads everywhere, even like in the subways and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in the main town, they had like a big billboard, and it was a crown made out of dildos.
Yeah, it was 3 dildos, and that's the
And
Dildo King.
it was
logo.
literally it would rotate and spin around.
Yeah.
And,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was very, very great.
Yeah. It's a very progressive society.
Germans, they're so normal.
Yeah.
Love
And then I
them.
went there. They're out of dildos.
Yeah.
We're all out.
Yeah, just pocket pussies. I was like, you guys.
More like dildo popper.
Yeah.
They also sold poppers.
Yeah.
What do we have? You had a scam story, right?
I had this happened to me. This is actually a couple months ago, but I had a friend who I still don't know if it's a scam.
All right,
then maybe we can talk about if we think it's a scam or not.
Let's draw a verdict.
I could have sworn he was getting hardcore catfished for information and money, And
So what happened?
he met a girl online that that refused to she couldn't video chat, which is like the biggest red flag of all. You have to see the person come out of their mouth, and even then you're like, you're okay. I know this is a person talking to me right now. I don't know if it's the person who says it is. So and you say something, you don't say anything. You don't know what to do. You just kind of leave it alone. And then I was like, tell me more about this person. You know, they're from South Africa, a long time, you know, like
Where's your
way
friend live?
away.
You're in New Jersey.
This is New Jersey.
This
and this
guy
person
is seeing a beautiful woman in South Africa. Is she beautiful?
Yeah, the pictures were of a very cute South African girl.
Right.
You know,
how do you meet her?
Online.
Where?
What I don't remember the site.
This is your how old?
He went on to Craigslist South Africa.
Yeah. Fake ass bitches, bitches. Yeah.
Like what? How old were you?
How old was he or me?
How old were you?
This was a couple months ago.
Oh,
this
recently.
is recent.
This is super recently.
Okay.
It is a guy who's a little bit younger than me. He's maybe 32, 33.
How do you know him?
I don't want to give away this guy's identity.
Do I know him?
You do not know him. He's not a comic. He's from another life.
Okay.
You know?
I get it.
So part of me is I'm talking to some other people, and we're like, do we have an intervention with this guy? Because he's like super into it. We don't know.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he's going
To South Africa.
He's going to South Africa. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
What
he's like,
happened?
no, she's real. I video chatted with her, you know.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, you know. But so next thing we know, we see these pictures of him in South Africa making out with this super cute South African girl.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just like, and it's almost like an I told you so way of like, see, she's real. And he's like,
I would do
around,
that
and, you
too.
know, and not only that, but she's coming over there, and now she has plans to move to America. So what is really going on here? Is this a 90-day fiance? She's real. She's fucking him.
Yeah.
You know?
So what? I don't know. Maybe you just didn't know the whole story. I mean, but my question is, why did he meet a South African woman to begin with when he lives here in New York?
He's an extremely online person that is like it's the type of thing he would do.
Maybe they're just into the same shit. They met on Twitter or something like that. They like the same. I don't know, anime.
So you thought this was going to be a scam, but it was not a scam.
I thought it was,
and you feel scammed by that.
What I think that what is really happening is that she just wants to have citizenship. She's also like out of his league. I'm sorry, it's very 90-day fiance.
At first, he thought it was a catfish. Now that it's not a catfish, you think she's using him to get a visa.
Yeah. It's
gonna
keep,
on their third kid, he's gonna be like,
"That's not the kid."
Yeah.
Stop saying that about our children.
I gotta just. He's fucking her.
He's fucking her.
He's okay with her coming over here, them potentially getting together. I mean, if they, you can't just get a green card.
Sounds like Dan feels scammed by life.
If she
right
wants
now.
to, yeah.
It's like this just doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're
I'm
jealous.
just bitter.
Yeah.
You're jealous.
Check out this scam. My best friend, he marries his best friend. They have 2 kids together. They live in a house. What a fucking
They
scam
live happily
on me.
ever after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like your friend's getting pussy and you're annoyed.
No, I was just positive that he was going to lose, that he was going to get ripped off or lose all his money or like in for heartbreak. And
You
then
were
I'm
positive, and then you were wrong.
and then I was like, oh my God, this is real. But I'm still super skeptical because, listen, it's a scam.
Maybe he's into a very specific thing and he's just not telling you about it.
Okay,
maybe it's
but-
like a kink thing.
But it's just too convenient for the girl. You know what I mean?
Why?
Well, it's like, you know, you're from South Africa.
What do you think? South
your friend
Africa's not
hideously
like
ugly
a
or
third
something?
world country. South Africa is pretty developed.
It doesn't, but people still want to come here from France. People still want to come here. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
So it doesn't have to. The idea that it's a third world country, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, where does he live? Does he live in New York?
No, he lives in another state.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it's not like a good city.
He lives in the Midwest.
he doesn't want
Okay.
to dox his friend. Right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah.
that, but I'm
Yeah.
like, people want to move to New York specifically. You know, people like to get a foothold here.
It's
so
so
that
funny.
might also
Immigrants
be
are
enough.
like,
But the
we
thing
made
is-
it, Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so deranged to think of all the Somalians who got relocated to Minnesota.
Right,
It's
right,
like this is
right.
not their dream to
Right,
fucking live in
exactly.
cold ass Minnesota.
But they got a nice community going on. Though,
Yeah.
now
right?
they do, yeah.
Right.
They have
I
a
just think-
Walmart. I mean,
I think it's been but
Their own Walmart,
I think it's been like
Somalmart,
yeah.
they've been making it happen there since like the 80s or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So you know.
90s.
Okay, so
90s?
Yeah.
back to the scam. What's the beef? What, you just think it sounds? Is your friend attractive?
No.
Okay, so she's just out of his league, and you're like, something
And
must
I'm bitter.
be amiss.
Why is
Dan-
every scam just me being bitter?
Dan underestimates his good friend,
Yeah.
and he doesn't believe in love.
Maybe your friend has a huge cock, and that's all. He just never saw his dick. So to settle this, you have to go see his dick.
No, here's the micro penis.
Oh, really?
Also blind and retarded.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not even a person,
And
it's a dog.
who's this guy?
Yeah.
That's my best friend.
Yeah.
That's the only guy I've ever seen eye to eye with.
A guy who I really relate to, you know? It's like we finish each other's sentences. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Imagine finishing the grunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We finish each other's drools.
How do you do that? Just take it from you and put it on mine?
Yeah,
It goes
sure.
up? Yeah.
Why not?
That's how you finish a drool.
I don't know, Dan. Fucking just be like, is that awkward to tell someone like, hey, I don't know if you noticed, she is way hotter than you.
That's the thing. Also, how do you bring it up?
I don't think you bring it up. I think you have enough respect for your friend to be like, he knows what he's doing.
If
What
he's
if?
met her,
But
if
here's
he's
the
met
deal.
her-
Okay. So how about this? I'll say this. I don't have enough respect for him where I think he knows what he's doing.
Maybe don't be his friend anymore. And be
Okay.
like, that guy's getting what he deserves.
What? No. It's not. I don't like him, but he's also the type of person.
Then you revealed everything.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry.
I don't like him, and I fucking.
That was Freudian. I mean, I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
But
I
you
just
think
think
he's
he's.
naive.
I think he's naive and the type of person that would fall for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also like believes a lot of stuff.
So
Are you
just
tight
go-
with him?
Not tight enough to
I don't.
be like.
I don't think you should say anything.
Yeah.
I mean, how is it your place? He's probably got people much closer to him in his life that could say
Yeah.
something. if
Also,
they
I
wanted
forgot to mention this. I'm also fucking this girl.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little menage a trois catfish situation.
Right.
Yeah.
He's flying out to Wisconsin every weekend.
Yeah, I guess it's not. I don't know. It doesn't. If he's gonna make a huge mistake, who gives a shit? People make mistakes all the time.
It's the type of thing where
You just got to let him make the mistakes.
The thing is, someone is susceptible to losing a lot of money.
Bro, literally just have a call and be like, hey, I don't want to. Do you care about losing this friendship?
No.
So then just call him and tape it and be like, listen.
Well, wait, why do you care at all?
I
That's what
kinda-
I'm trying to understand.
yeah.
You're
I
not
kinda
close with
wanna-
this guy. You're
yeah.
seeing him from afar.
I kind of want to get rid of him, which is why I hired this South African woman to.
Yeah, but yeah, what you're saying is right. It's like, what do you care? You don't care about
What are the
losing this
stakes
guy's
for you?
friendship. So why do you care about protecting him from a scam?
It's an awkward conversation.
So either have it or don't. Right?
All right. Okay. So it's a podcast about scams. I thought I'd bring up a
Sorry,
scam.
but you're
And then you're just like, God, just talk to
You're
him.
like, I'm afraid a guy I don't really
Yeah.
know or care about might get ripped off.
I think this guy sounds like he's happy is the thing.
Yeah.
And so sometimes he's getting what he's paid for, I think.
Yeah,
in
or
many
how-
levels, right?
Yeah.
Here's what I was gonna say. It's a green card scam. From what I've
I can't wait till next week where I'm like, update, that guy was murdered by that person.
well, she's,
So,
why would
whoopsie daisy.
why would she murder him? What is she gonna get out of murdering him?
It was a joke.
Okay. All right, but so here's my point. It's like if you have a green card scam, it's usually like, I'll pay you $10,000 and we pretend like we're married for 5 years, right? Or 50,000. It's something like that. It's a very long process. So even if she wants a green card, he's gonna be with her and fuck her unless he knows it's a scam and he's in on it and agreeing to it.
I'm not familiar with immigration law, but is
Yeah.
a 90-day fiance based on a green card situation?
Have you seen the show? I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
I have like a
What's the
5-minute
deal?
long joke about it too.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
It's like it's exactly what it is. It's just you have it's a visa that only lasts 90 days. That
Yeah.
within that time you have to get married if the person can stay.
Okay.
Right, and then there's a whole other separate
Wait,
process for getting a green
Who made
card.
this fucking visa?
Thomas Jefferson? I have no fucking idea.
They made a visa. They made a visa. It sounds like, all right, this is how the visa is going to work. We're going to get 8 bachelorettes on an island.
Well,
Whoever gets the rose gets the visa. It's like, it sounds like a visa designed for a fucking
that's like
game
a Hunger
show.
Games style. Yeah.
It's like, guys, welcome to The Bachelor. They're like, let's just call it America. Okay. It's named after a guy. Let's
Who
not
wants
call
to,
it The
who
Bachelor.
wants to suck America's dick, right?
Basically, yeah.
Who wants to blow someone for citizenship? Okay, so wait, so this is a legal thing where you have 90 days to decide.
It's 90 days. Well, it's not to decide. It's built specifically for people who are marrying people not from America.
Yeah.
And it gives them a way to come into the country.
Right.
So it's like that's why it
There's
only
like a
lasts for
90-day grace period.
Yeah, it's a 90-day
Yeah.
grace period, and then you're expected within that time you're going to get married.
Yeah,
Right.
I see.
So the whole premise of the show is that they bring these women over, and they have 90 days to figure
Yeah.
out if they're going to be married or not.
Oh, but
right?
so the idea with the law is, if we met somewhere and we come back here,
Yeah.
you can come in without, you get this temporary visa,
Yeah.
and then you can get married. And then the way that they're kind of like gaming it or whatever is be like, we'll just send you someone, and then you have 90 days before that visa runs out.
No.
That temporary
These people,
visa
they
runs
meet
out.
these
They meet
people
online,
through like
yeah.
online,
Oh, okay.
much
Yeah.
like Dan's friends.
Yeah,
so-
Yeah.
Or enemy, depending on.
Okay, but those people all know the deal. They all know the situation.
Yeah, no one's
right?
getting ripped off.
Yeah.
that
Everybody's in on
situation.
it, and then it's basically just like, here's an Elgo guy, here's a girl that you couldn't get if she
Yeah.
was from your country,
Yeah.
and
I think it's a very fair transaction, though, if they want to come here,
Yeah.
right? It's like the guy wants to get some pussy.
Yeah.
And he wants to like feel whatever, have a partner.
I think that was the name of the show originally, A Very Fair Transaction.
Yeah, it's a very fair transaction. Like I think if anything, like
welcome to 90-day Very Fair Transaction.
So I mean, I don't know. I see nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
I think it's totally fair for a woman to be like, no, I want to live in America. And okay, so if I have to marry you and fuck you or whatever it takes or make you feel loved, okay, fine, let's do it.
Yeah. Damn, dude, that's a dark view of the world.
No, it's not. I think why?
Well, no, I think it is. I mean, it's giving opportunities to the third world, right?
I think it's like
it's a great jobs program.
It's just like, listen, you look at some of these people from like Oklahoma or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, look, your family tree needs some fucking decorating.
I wonder if any
of
any of Trump's immigration policies actually fucked up 90-Day Fiance.
It's a good question.
Yeah,
probably a lot of.
They're like, oh, there goes season 4.
Yeah, a lot of Trump voters are probably also watchers and participants. Too,
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it a good show?
No, I mean I don't know. I used to watch it with an old girlfriend of mine, and she was super into it.
And then the 90 days expired.
I was like, you gotta get going.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, no, it's not. If you like reality TV shows, I guess it's fine.
Yeah,
yeah. I can't watch that stuff. Whenever I watch TV, I feel like I feel myself dying.
Yeah,
I feel like my life slipping through my fingers, and I'm just like, I can't believe.
Well, you do sip on poison while you watch TV.
That's right. Yeah.
So
my girlfriend pours cyanide in my mouth.
Yeah. You do hold your breath. Yeah, while you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I got into a fucking bike accident on the way over here
today.
Yeah,
just now.
Just now on the way over here.
That's what he said. I beat the shit out of him.
His hand specifically. You wouldn't bite his hand.
Yeah.
Now get on that bike and fall down.
You scraped my calves.
Yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
Got blood on my shorts.
Yeah, looks like you got a little fucked up.
Yeah. I was riding a city bike and I checked my phones to look at directions, and I got tossed from the bike.
Oh shit!
On Broadway, which is not a good street. And then you just kind of like get up, and whenever you get, I got into an accident like 2 months ago, also.
Yeah. Which is this?
I'm gonna die. Yeah, that was this. I'm gonna die on these fucking city bikes, the electrics. But anyways, so I just you get up and you're like, well, what am I gonna do now? I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right, so you just have to keep going. I go up and keep going. I'm meeting a friend, Neil Nanda, for food. I get there before him, and I'm at it's like a bodega that sells tacos. And then I see a girl that I used to sleep with, and she was she's like in an open relationship, and she's there with what looks like on a date with another dude. I mean, I haven't seen this girl since I think before the pandemic, like a year and a half or something like that. But I get up and I go, hey, what's up? And she says, hey. And she comes over to hug me and she goes, oh my God.
Can you face that?
Oh my God, you're disgusting. Oh, and you're bleeding. And she goes, anyway, I said, yeah, I just got in a bike accident. And she goes, oh, good luck with that. And then leaves with the dude.
You were this close to getting maced.
Yeah.
Fucking pepper
sprayed.
Yeah,
it was just one of those like, oh fuck, that's a weird feeling.
That's pretty humiliating.
It is and it isn't. On the other hand, like and then I started thinking about this girl and kind of like how I knew her. I met her on Tinder, and she messaged me and was just like, hey, I have a boyfriend, but we're open and I want to have sex tonight. Do you want to have sex? It was one of those that I was like, okay, which has happened like twice
That's
ever.
Great.
It's very rare. I go over, I meet her at a bar, and I'm like, okay, do you want to go do this? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So then we start kind of like hooking up occasionally. She's very, I think she has like hyper ADD, one of those people that's like, ooh, look at all this. Anyways, then she starts telling me about this relationship she has with her boyfriend, which is very asymmetrical. She's like, I feel bad for him because he's not getting laid, and I just want him to have a girlfriend because I want to be open. But it's one of those where, like, she wants to be open, but the guy doesn't want to be, but he'll do it to stay with her. But then he's not really pursuing anything.
That's
like,
sad
she's
as
fucking
hell.
other people. He's not pursuing anything because I guess he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Right? And she... but she wants to keep sleeping around. And then she started texting me and asking me if we could have threesomes with her boyfriend because she wants him to feel
Wow.
included.
Did you do it?
No, I'm not interested. That's the thing is like, what a bad deal. I can just fuck you. Why would I fuck you and some fucking dude who I have no interest in? You know, like I've never met, and it's yeah. I don't know why would I do that. Yeah, and then it just kind of like fizzled out, but then it was just funny. It's funny running into someone like that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what happened? She was at a party across the street from me, and I went. She invited me to it. It was like she was having an art installation there. I went, and then I met her there, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Because it was literally on my block, and she was like, "Oh, my boyfriend's here. You should meet." And then the guy like makes music, and I make music, and and so we just like awkwardly talked about like, "Oh, what software do you use?" Well, his girlfriend is off trying to fuck like some noob guy.
Does she know? Does he know that you've been fucking his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
like
doesn't come up at all.
it's weird.
It's probably why you bring up the music.
Yeah.
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 So what type of music are you fucking my girlfriend to?
It's like I wrote this song called "Your Girlfriend's a Whore." No, it's one of those.
It's a bad song.
They live together.
Yeah.
They live together, and she knows about it, and she's they're trying to be poly in this way that works for them. Yeah, no, it was she was like, "This is Santiago," and he goes, "Oh, hey, nice to finally meet you." And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And then we shake hands, and then kind of like the pandemic hits like 2 months later, and I never saw her after that until just now when I show up covered in blood. So that's that story. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was great. And then I just I don't know if you ever walked into a restaurant bleeding from multiple, like my hand was bleeding, my calf was bleeding. People are not happy to see you.
Definitely
No,
not.
yeah. It ruins the vibe.
They're sitting there eating tacos, and I was like, "Do you have alcohol wipes?" They were
all
like,
fucked
"No,
up.
but we can give you napkins and Purell." So I'm just like putting Purell on a napkin and just rubbing it on my
Yeah.
cuts.
Meanwhile, it's like if that was my restaurant, I'd be like, "No, I don't. And can you please
Get the fuck
leave
outta
right
here,
now?
Yeah.
Immediately."
You look very
before-
homeless.
Yeah.
You're all scraped up like
Yeah,
that.
people are trying to eat. There's COVID going around, and you
Yeah.
have open wounds. So you're ruining this Mexican experience.
Yeah, I find that very discriminatory.
It's being filmed. Everyone saw that, by the way.
Well, you did that thing
Yeah.
too, so I was like,
No, that was to turn your
yeah.
head. Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to wrap it up here. Any closing? Any other thoughts? Anything? You got anything else?
scamming can build character.
It can build
You know?
character.
It gives you a story.
Yeah. And stories, that's all we are at the end of the day.
That's all we are.
That's all people are, is a collection of stories that you tell at parties to fuck girls.
And
And then you know what? Then they're
exactly
boyfriends.
right.
You meet them and you're like, this is kind of not as fun
this is the
anymore.
worst closing of all time. Yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
guys, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wear a condom. That's all I can say. I don't know. Yeah, that was our podcast.
Believe in love. Don't be like Dan. Believe in love. The
Exactly.
possibility of love.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just think it's not going to end well.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you said everything but this guy's name.
Yeah.
And if he ever listens to this, he's going to know you're talking about him.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna post it on your Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Any plugs? Anything you want to plug?
Mango Bay Podcast. That's pretty much it. Follow
Yeah.
my Instagram. I put up new videos.
What's your
usually.
Instagram?
At Pranahaha, Pranahaha. Follow Mango Bay, MangoBae. It's your Mango Bay on Instagram, everywhere else. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube,
Yeah.
Patreon.
Oh, you're
Killer.
so good at that.
Very funny podcast. Check it out, guys. I'm Santiago Angel at Santiago is Dead.
I'm Daniel Luis Veza at Daniel Luis Veza.
Come to a show. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. This was
Bye.
fun.